1, 2, 3.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to introduce the podcast?
Yeah, absolutely. This is Colton Biss on Poor2Pro Car Sales Training with Kyle Galaz.
Become
a sales titan.
All right. So we are live with Mr. Colton Biss. This is his 5th one-on-one training session. I'm so proud of him because I've literally watched in the last 3 or 4 years a man completely change from amateur to, I would like to say pro at this point, Colton, with what you're doing, the numbers you're putting out, the money you're making, the successes you're having inside and outside the dealership, relationship wise, money wise. It just, everything seems to be going well for you. And when people like you start taking their career seriously at work and in their brain, it's funny how other things in life start smoothing out. Other things in life start getting easier. Other things in life are enjoyable. Do you think there's a correlation, a combo there?
No, absolutely. Yeah, just putting in the work at work and like doing what you're supposed to on a daily basis and like giving it your best while you're there instead of just like scrolling on your phone and not giving it your all. Definitely, like it bleeds into like all aspects of my life. Like,
yeah.
So,
I mean, I heard a thing one time where a man does one thing, or how a man does one thing is probably how he does all things. You know what I mean? So if you're continually sucky at work and negative at work, you're probably like that outside of work. You know, so or you do things halfway, or you don't learn completely. You probably do that inside and outside of work. So you're not only changing at the business level, but you're changing at a human level. And you'll notice when that happens, you'll have haters and you'll have people that you realize, wow, that's a true friend because they're in a bad spot, but they're still rooting for me. So, you know, you find out a lot about yourself and friends, and there's some psychological things that happen when you start becoming successful. And I'm sure you've seen some of that already.
Absolutely.
Before we get into your one-on-one session, your 4 topics, I'd like to talk about kind of they put you on the spot walk around competition. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So the walk around competition at my dealership, they do it on every Friday morning meeting. They pick a vehicle. They give us a heads up on the vehicle, and then usually like a couple days ago before the walk around competition, they tell us who's doing it. So that way we can actually like study up. And it's just a feature, benefit, and like competition or comparison to competition. And so this last week or the week before, they didn't release the names until like the afternoon before, and it they put me on it, and I was still super new here, and I was like, okay, all right. My plan was to go home, eat dinner, and like study up, but I didn't leave the dealership till like 10:30 the night before, so I just went home and went to bed. And I just listened to some videos on the way to work on Bronco Sports, and I asked ChatGPT to compare it to a couple vehicles, and then I basically just I know when I watch these walk around competitions, I can never hear what the people are saying, and they don't really move around a lot. So I've never judged one, but if I were a judge, I'd assume that something that like counts is how loud you're speaking, how confident you're speaking, and like moving around, because it's a walk around competition, not a stand in place competition. And yeah, I just said everything with my chest. I made the pretend customer, the manager, get in and out of the vehicle, and I ended up winning. So that was pretty cool.
It's nerve-wracking, huh?
It was nervous, yeah, because there's about 50 to 70 people. It's both our stores, our new store and our used store, and some of the service writers and all the managers, and sometimes even the owners there. So yeah, it was pretty nerve-wracking. So
very cool. That's awesome. Were there any spots in the walk around where you felt like, or in your research, that you're like, man, I should present it this way to a customer?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And ChatGPT is such an awesome tool. I, I I actually added ChatGPT to like my iPhone I have a folder with all the apps like for work, and I added ChatGPT to that folder so that way I can pull it up quickly. And as a customer's asking me like, hey, what's the difference between this and this? Um, Granted, sometimes ChatGPT completely avoids the question, but a lot of times it gives you the right answer, or at least close enough to the right answer.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I definitely discovered a lot of things. And if I ever get hung up on a question, I'd resort to ChatGPT. I mean, I'll definitely, I never lie to my customers and make up some stuff on the spot, but I'll tell them like, hey, give me like 2 seconds because I actually have never been asked that before.
Yeah.
And so,
When you get customers that ask you those questions, one thing that I do is I always compliment them. That's a great question,
mhm.
or man, that's a good question, because then they feel like, oh, like, oh man, I asked them a good question, because they don't know how knowledgeable you are or how not knowledgeable you are, or if it's a stupid question or a great question. But always compliment them. That's a great question, and if I'm having fun with them, I'll say, and it deserves a great answer. And if I don't have that, then I'll, resort to, I didn't have chat, when I was on the sales floor, but I always had a pamphlet or something, or another salesperson. Like, so you're doing good not lying to them. Don't ever lie to them. Don't try to make something up, because man, once you lose the credibility with a customer, it's so hard to get it back. It's like you slip 10 steps, and then to get it back, it's like one, two. It takes a long time to get it back. So kudos to you for not making stuff up, and good job on winning the walk around. That's awesome, man. Especially when you're new at the dealership, you have never really done one before, and then you drop the hammer, and then you win it in front of that many people. It's pretty good. But the thing about walk around competitions is not necessarily the exact things you would say to a customer, because you're in a presentation mode. It's competition. It's not what you would actually say with the customer, but what it is the theatrics of it. You're theatrical, and check this out, and this does that, and this does this, and you can use that with a customer, the theatrics, because the highest paid actors are the best actors, right? The highest paid salespeople are the ones that have the best theatrics and the best acting. So take those, not necessarily exactly what you said in the walk around, but the excitement you had, and the hand movement, and this, hey, sit here and try this. Because no matter what, when you had your manager there, he was going to listen to what you said. Hey, have a seat here, right? He's going to sit
Mhm.
down, because you knew you had control. So if you can just take that same mentality into your customers walk around, hey, have a seat right here, I want to show you something. That's when you start building another level of skill of complete control, and making sure the customer is in the seat, making sure the customer pairs up their phone. So those walk around competitions teach you a different angle of how to do a presentation. But it'd be hard to do that exact walk around with the customer, because they'd be like, what's going on here?
Oh yeah, yeah, no, absolutely.
So when you watch those videos online, you can't go verbatim with them, because like you said, not a lot of people do the walk around part. That's more of a presentation for the camera, and yeah, you can see the low confidence, and the F-150 has an eco boost. It's like, dude, where's your power, and that is excitement. How about, check this out? The F-150 has the all new eco boost, twin turbo, da 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 da, hammering out stats, and this is why you should go with the Ford over the Chevy, because of this, and that. And those comparisons are very important. Well, great job, Colton. All right, let's get into your questions. You had great questions. I know that you're, what are you, 3 years in now, 4 years?
Almost 3 years. Almost
Three.
3 years
Okay.
now.
So, I mean, if you were going to be a boxer, how long would it take to become a professional, a true professional boxer?
Like an outlier at it, easily 10,000 hours. I mean, easily, I don't know, probably 10 years.
10 years. Okay. What about an MMA fighter? How long?
Probably same.
What about a basketball player?
Probably about the same.
Yeah. So when you have questions like these, I wrote them down, and you have stumbling blocks, and you have hiccups in your career. You have to remember, I've only been doing this for 3 years. It took Floyd Mayweather how many years and how many hours to become the skill level he was when he was in boxing. Same with Mike Tyson. How many times did he punch that bag before he could convert that to, a title fight? It takes years and years to get good at something. So always give yourself credit, Colton, and don't put too much pressure on yourself that I'm not where I want to be. I feel like I should be better. I'm struggling with these types of customers. I feel like I'm failing. Throw it all out the window. You're doing a great job. I see a man that is becoming a true professional. But when you have these customers that you run into and you beat yourself up and you're exhausted after, remember, oh shoot, if I was just born, I'm only 3 years old right now. I'm barely learning to talk and walk and write things down. That's where you're at in your career is technically a baby. So don't forget that when you have some of these struggles, okay? Some Not giving yourself an excuse out. Not saying that.
Hmm.
Just saying you got to give yourself a pat on the back and say, you know what, I am doing a good job, and yeah, I do have my struggles, but shoot, I'm still okay. I'm still doing a darn good job for being in the business 3 years, right? You're way farther than I was in 3 years, way farther. So imagine you in 20 years, or now I'm in my 24th year. Imagine Colton in 24 years. You're probably at my 10th year of the car business of where you're at now, right? And you did it in three. So you'll be just dominating in a few more years. All right. So subject one is asking customers what they want to accomplish and kind of things of that nature when they show up on the lot, and then asking them to buy without turning them off. So when you ask customers, are you asking customers now what they want to accomplish when they come on the lot?
Um, I feel like when I'm asking them that question, it's too late. I should have asked them earlier on in the process, because by the time I do ask them that, it's like right before they're trying to get out of the door. When they're like, after I spend 45 minutes on the lot with them, find them the perfect vehicle, and then go to write it up. And as soon as I start writing it up, they're like, we got 10 minutes.
All right.
And then I'm like, what were we trying to accomplish? I'll be doing you a disservice if I rush this part of the process. Like, I promise we're really efficient about it, but if I rush through this, I'm going to miss something. And like, it's going to be an utter waste of both of our time. So,
Well, if
yeah.
I've heard of some dealerships, training with that verbiage, like, "Hey, what did you want to accomplish today?" or something along those lines. So if you're forced to use that, yes, get it out early, because, like, say in the meet and greet, "Hi, my name's Kyle. Welcome to Corwin Ford. Pleasure to meet you." And you are, Mike, and this is your wife Cynthia. Very nice meeting you. Well, first and foremost, thanks for coming in. We really appreciate when customers give us an opportunity to earn their business. What exactly were you looking to accomplish today? Were you looking for sales or service? You can follow up with something else. Oh, we're looking for sales. Oh, okay, that's my department. My name's Colton. I've been here about 3 months. I've been in the car business 3 years. I'm still learning a lot, but I promise you one thing: I'm not going to screw the deal up for you. Let's find you the right vehicle. Something that to get a conversation going. I'm just kind of spitting some stuff out there, but you could throw that in there. What are you looking to accomplish? You're looking for sales or service, and kind of have a follow-up question. Because if you just say, what are you looking to accomplish? What are you going to set yourself up for?
A wall.
Or just looking, right?
Just look. Yep.
So I've said this in a lot of earlier podcasts. If you ask a silly question, you're going to get a silly answer. So, if you ask a customer, what are you looking to accomplish? If I went to a furniture store, I would say, oh, we're just looking around, or we're looking at couches. It's always going to be a defensive answer to it. What are you looking to accomplish? We're just kind of looking around today. Okay, we just started looking. This is our first place. You're going to hear all the things that discourage a salesperson. So if you simply ask, what are you looking to accomplish? All you're setting yourself up for is failure or disappointment. But if you say something like, what were you looking to accomplish? You looking for sales or service? Oh, we're looking for sales. Oh, okay. So now they've admitted that they're looking for sales, which means they're looking to,
Looking to possibly purchase.
yeah, not possibly. They're on a car lot. They're looking to buy. Who they're looking for is the person that can take them to the promised land. So when you follow up with sales or service and get that question out there right away and they say sales, don't even worry about, I wonder if they're just looking to, no, they came to buy a car. You have to assume it because that will set yourself up with some confidence to, okay, sales, that's my department. I've been here for a few months. What exactly in the sales department are you looking for? Are you looking for a truck, car, SUV? Is there a specific brand or a certain model you're looking for, new or pre-owned? And then you can go into your normal questions because questions control the conversation.
Conversation, yeah.
Yeah. So now they've said sales. Okay, that's my department. Excellent. You know, you can go through any of your sourcing that you need to. Are you working with anybody? Have you bought here before? However, your store, you know, has that stuff. But now we get into the person who asked the questions is in control. And if you already know in your head they came to buy, they said sales. They told me sales. That's my department. Now you've entered my home, and I run my home. This is my house. Okay. Were you looking for new or pre-owned? Oh, we're looking at the new Bronco Sports. Oh, excellent. We just did a walk around competition on the Bronco Sport and they chose me, the new guy. Like, it's okay to tell customers that. Yeah, we have these competitions on Friday and they'll just randomly pick someone and they're like, sell me on this Bronco Sport. So that was last week. So it's still fresh in my mind. I'm so cool. You're looking at the Bronco Sport, right? There's the theatrics. That's the theatrics I'm talking about. And now all that excitement that you had converts to the customer. Now they're excited. Oh, cool, right? Or if, let's say, they're looking at the F-150 and you guys just had a walk around competition, even though you weren't in it, you can say we just had a walk around competition on the F-150. So I have a lot of the stuff fresh in my mind. Let's go take a look. So if you ask what are you looking to accomplish, you're probably going to set yourself up for a disappointment answer, or they're just going to put their wall up, like you said, right? So if you do ask the question, or if your store requires it, or something along those lines, or it's just part of your thing that you do, follow it up with more questions. Okay, I'm gonna steal something from my buddy Greg. We were talking because we like to talk car sales in my office, and stuff kind of one-on-one sessions where we bounce things off each other. I've been his manager for 6 years, 7 years now, and so I'm always training him. But he's also a very intelligent guy, and this is what he told me one time. He goes, "Kyle, questions are the answer." I'm like, "Did you just make that up?" He goes, "Did I? I don't know." I'm like, "Dude, did you? I don't think I've ever heard that. Questions are the answer." And I told him I'd never tell anybody, but this is your fifth one-on-one. And, he likes to keep things close to his chest, his cards. But I'm like, I got to share it with somebody. So I'm sharing it with Colton. But if you think about that, if you want success in your career, you've got to ask questions, because questions are the answer. So questions is the secret ingredient for customers. And the more questions you ask, the more they will answer. They're not going to say, I plead the fifth. No customer ever says I plead the fifth. They feel obligated to answer, and that will set you up for success in these. So instead of asking, what do you want to accomplish? Or, do you want to buy? You want to buy today? What can we do to earn your business? Those type of questions. You ask other questions like, where were you trying to get your payment to be? That's a question of asking them, do you want to buy, without asking them, do you want to buy? Right?
Absolutely.
So let's just button up the first section. So if you're going to ask, what do you want to accomplish? Follow it up with sales or service, or new or used, or SUV, car or truck, something. What are you looking to accomplish? Oh, we're looking at da 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 da. Are you thinking about trading in your beautiful vehicle? Oh yeah, we're thinking about trading it in. Okay, excellent. Now you've gained some traction. Now you have some conversation pieces. How long have you had that Expedition for? Oh, we bought it brand new in 2007. You've had it for 18 years? No wonder why you're back at the Ford brand. The thing never died, right? You get excited. There's the theatrics. Okay, another one you had in here is, let's see here, asking them if they want to buy without turning them off. So tell me about that. Ask them if they want to buy without turning them off. What are you finding right now?
I'm finding that like we're in an online world now, and like some dealerships just like advertise way bigger discounts. And like me being a consumer, I would choose that. I would choose a $10,000 discount over a $6,000 discount all day long. Um, Other times, and I figured I'd get over that, like comparing window stickers, apples to apples, and then like ask them like, why didn't you buy there? Or like, I mean, that is a great deal. Why don't you just pull the trigger on? Oh, it's the wrong color. Okay. Um, Other ones are asking to buy. Like after I present numbers and um so like, great, yep, we're gonna think about it. And like when they say that they're gonna think about it, like the chances of them ever coming back are so slim to none.
Yeah.
Like absolutely slim to none. Um, and like I'll ask them like, what do we need to think about? And trade number, payment, interest rate. Like it's always one of the three or all three. Um, and so like I really like this questions are the answer. So like I'm definitely gonna start applying that and just start asking more questions.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Here's something you can ask too. If you're not getting if you're not getting the buying, like their commitment, you're not getting their commitment. You could ask something like this: in a perfect world, what does this car deal look like for you? In a perfect world, what does this car deal look like for you? Or if they're, and this can go for any of the aspects, right? The trade in. Oh, we were hoping to get more for your trade in, for my trade in. But they're not telling you what they wanted. Well, in a perfect world, what would that trade in look like? Whether I earn your business today or not, what would that look like? Don't say so I can go ask my manager. Just ask them.
mhm.
In a perfect world, if this was the perfect deal for you, what would the trade value be? And a lot of times they're going to at least give you something to work with. Well, I was really hoping for 20. Oh, okay. And I'm at 15. Well, I understand why you want to leave, Mr. Customer. I understand why you want to think about it. I don't blame you. If I was hoping to get 20 on my trade in and Colton was giving me 15, I would want to think about it too. Okay. So then we isolate. Other than that, other than the trade in, is there anything on the other side that's really screwing you up? What do you think about the rate? No, the rate's good. Okay. Do you like our car? Do you like the vehicle enough to where you could see yourself owning it? Well, yeah. Okay. Do you like my service? I hope you like me. Yeah, I like you. Okay. So now I've isolated that it is just the trade. So, Mr. Customer, other than the trade, if that was your perfect number, you'd buy the vehicle tonight. You wouldn't have to think about it, right? And they're probably going to say, well, yeah, I mean, well, maybe I'd still think about it. Okay, so what you're telling me is if I get to 20, you buy the vehicle. Well, yeah. Okay. Now you have something to work with, Colton. Whether you can get there or not, still that's debate. It's still may not be a deal, but at least you've isolated and you can stop struggling with a customer wanting to go home and think about it. In a perfect world, if this was if you had control of the whole car deal, what would that look like? The trade number. Or let's say there's no trade. Now it's on payment. In a perfect world, what would your payment be on this expedition where you'd be like, I'm buying it? Honey, we're not thinking about it. I'm buying it. If you get me to 500, if the payment was 500, I'd do that. I would say that to my wife right now. Right. So that's how you can do that in a perfect world. And again, it's questions. You're asking questions. But questions have always been, the friend of a salesperson, and because questions control the conversation. If I ask Colton a question, right, and I've earned your respect over the last 3 years, I'm sure, and you've earned mine. If I ask Colton, hey, Colton, what's your favorite color?
Say red.
Okay, you didn't say I plead the fifth.
Mm.
Colton, what's your favorite sports car?
I would say uh, Corvette.
Corvette. All right, perfect. But you see what I'm saying? I'm asking you the question, so I'm in control. So it's the same thing with the customer, but what you're trying to do is figure out what they're holding close to their chest when you're saying stuff like, um, like asking them to buy. Don't ask them to buy. Ask them what the perfect
Mhm.
scenario would be. Try that next time. In your perfect scenario, what would your car payment be? In your perfect scenario, what would the interest rate be? In the perfect scenario, what would your down payment be? In your perfect scenario, what would your trade be? They'll tell you exactly what it is if you earn their respect. And the only way you earn their respect is on the lot with your product knowledge, doing a great walk around, showing them some respect, and doing what you're supposed to do as a salesperson to encourage them to want to move forward with you. You got to earn their respect if you want to get those answers. Now, if I just met you on the car lot, let's say I met Colton at the mall in Nampa or Boise, and we just walked by. That's the first time I ever met you, and I asked you, "Hey, what's your favorite color, or what's your girlfriend's name?" You'd be like, you wouldn't even ignore. You would ignore me. Like, is that guy talking
Yeah,
to me? Because
absolutely.
I haven't earned anything yet. But I can ask you that now. Hey, what's your fiance's number? What's your girlfriend's name? What's your favorite color? What's your favorite sports car? Because I've earned it. So if you want customers to answer your questions, you got to earn it. All right. Okay. Let's say. All right. Another thing here. So let's move on to subject 2 while we got the time. Keeping control of the customers that have buying power. Wow, that's a tough one, huh?
Yes.
They don't need you, Colton.
Yeah. No, they
They,
definitely do not need me at all.
They don't need Corwin Ford. They don't even need the town they're in. They can buy anywhere they want. They can spend any amount they want. They have an 850 score. They got 20,000 down. They have a clear trade. They have a paid off house. They don't need me or you. So how in the heck do you sell those people, and how do you build urgency with those people? I dealt with those people for 6 years selling Maserati and Alfa Romeos, mainly Maserati. They have a checkbook. They want to run a they pull out the black metal card. They want to run a Maserati on their card. I literally got to see these cards, and they don't need me. But this is how you get those people to buy from you. This is how you do it. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a few questions. Colton, would you give your social security number to an overseas telemarketer?
No, I would not.
Why?
Identity theft.
Not they're not trustworthy. They're going to steal your info. They're going to use it,
Yeah.
right?
All the above.
All the above. All right. Would you give your home address to a complete stranger?
No, I would not.
Why?
So don't need strangers knowing where I live.
Yeah, could be a dangerous thing. It's like, well, you don't need my address. Why do you need my address? You're a stranger. Would you give your full name, first, middle, last, to some thug on the street?
No, I would not.
No, you wouldn't even give him your last name. You just say, my name's Colton if he asks. Colton. And maybe not even that. You might ignore him. Okay. So you kind of already know why I'm asking these questions, like um not giving a social to a telemarketer. Of course not. It's stupid, Kyle. Why would you ever do that? Your home address to a complete stranger, your full name to some thug, right? So we know those answers super simple. Okay, what about a high quality customer? So let's say you have a guy that has an 850 credit score at your dealership with $180,000 in his checking, and who knows, 2.3 million in his house equity, things like that. Okay, and you just met him. Is he going to want to answer some of those personal questions, like, how much money he makes, uh, you know, any of that? Does he want to give any of that to you?
No, no,
No,
that's
no, because to you or to him, you're a stranger on the street. You're the telemarketer sales guy that's going to bug him. You're the guy that's going to possibly take his $20,000 in cash down payment. Are you even worthy as Colton to help that customer? Of course you are, because I know you, right? But in that customer's eyes, are you the type of guy that I want to give my first, middle, last to, my social, my cash down payment, my home address, my full name, all these things? So high quality customers require high quality salesperson. If you want those people to spend money with you, you have to be trustworthy. You have to be on their level, so to speak, because they're not going to want to give you any of their personal information if you're not on their level. It's just a fact. Why do you think Bill Gates doesn't go to grocery stores? Why do you think Jeff Bezos, you don't see him in a Walmart? because no one in that store, and I'm not knocking these people, are at his level. He doesn't want to be even near them, right? Why does he fly a private jet? Does he want to be in an airplane with these strangers?
Not at all.
No,
No.
no. These high quality people require high quality salespeople. So if you want to earn these people's business, you have to look to them like you're on their level. Now, obviously, you have a job and you're car selling, so they know mentally that you're probably not on their level. But if you hold yourself to their level, you sound like their level, you're professional like their level, you do everything by the book like their level, you don't take shortcuts, you don't lie, you tell them, hey, I don't know that fact. That's a great question, but I'm going to find out for you. If you look, sound, and act like an eagle, well, then they're going to assume you're an eagle. And eagles like to soar with eagles. Now, if the multimillionaire guy that has a fleet of F-150s he needs to buy comes to you and you look like a scrub and you smell like you just woke up in your car and you don't know your product, does that guy want to spend $250,000 in trucks with you?
No, absolutely not.
No. So just your, unfortunately, they judge us harder than we judge them. They prejudge. Just your appearance, the way you look, the way you sound, the way you talk, the way all these things will help you sell these people that are higher level customers. Because the reason why they're on your lot is because they're giving you a chance to earn their business. They don't need you. But if you can show them that everything you've done equals to their status, they want to buy from you because rich people like rich friends. Notice that?
Absolutely.
Your friends that drink wine and they have cigars and they do this, they're not hanging out with people that don't, they like people that are drinking wine and having cigars and going to fancy restaurants and going to Chandler's, right? And buying a $500 steak. They don't,
Absolutely.
so when you're helping these customers that are zillionaires, you have to look like a zillionaire. You have to sound like a zillionaire. And you have to run your business, the car sales business, like they run their business. And when you prove yourself to these people, then they'll give you your full name. Then they'll bust out their card to put the down payment. Then they'll give you their social security number at your desk. Then they'll fill out the credit app because now you have proven yourself as a trustworthy person that's on their level. And it's easier for them to spend money with a guy like you than the scrub down the street at the other dealership that they probably just left. That's how I sold the most Maseratis each and every month and the most Alfa Romeos each and every month with this high-end client than all the other salesperson when I was in sales, because I knew that fact. Have to know the product. I have to talk like them. I have to smell like them. I have to look like them. I have to do all the things where it almost looks like I'm the manager, even though I'm not. I'm still living paycheck to paycheck. I'm still trying to squeak out a living, but they don't know that. They don't know that. And those are the people saying, like, all right, what can you do on the numbers? Perfect. Come on in. I've earned their trust. Now I've earned their time to have a seat at my desk, and I've earned the sale. So when it comes to the negotiating, they'll say, what's the best you can do? This is the best I can do. All right. Well, what will my payment be? Or do you guys take check or cash? How do I pay for this thing? You'll start hearing stuff like that from these people that can buy anything. How do I pay for it? Do you guys want a cashier's check I can swing by tomorrow? No problem. Yeah. Here, why don't we put a deposit? That way it makes the manager happy. He's not scared that you're going to not come back, even though it's me who's scared he's not coming back. And I'm getting a deposit because I want to earn the sale on the Maserati, right? But so to answer these customers that have buying power, you have to raise your skill level to their skill. Okay. So things that you can write down. You got to be ironed. You got to have iron pants, iron shirt. Okay. You don't have to have an expensive watch. You got to be trimmed. You got to smell good. You got to look the part. But the biggest thing, even if you're not perfect looking, right, is you got to sound like you're at their level. How can I help you guys? Yeah, no problem. You're looking at the Maserati Quattroporte. Okay, are you comparing it to any vehicles? Oh, you're comparing it to the Mercedes. Excellent, man. The Mercedes is a world class car, but let me show you why the Quattroporte is going to suit you it perfectly. And then we're going to take it for a drive, and then you're going to hear this Ferrari engine. It's been so many years since I've done this. You're going to hear this Ferrari engine. You're going to be like, love the Mercedes, but I think this time around I'm going to try Maserati. I'm going to get you to that point. And your confidence is like, wow. All right, let's go drive it, Kyle. You hear that? All right, now put it in sport mode. I want you to use the paddle shifters. We're going to get to 50 miles an hour, and I want you to downshift. And you're going to get to hear these pops and sputters and that Ferrari engine actually working. Oh, okay. I'm in control. So those type of customers require that type of salesperson. You can't be Slumdog Millionaire trying to, and you're going to sell these people.
Mm.
You'll get a few because a few of the bazillionaires are philanthropist type. They love everybody. Yeah, how much is it going to be, Colton? Okay, do you take a check? But those are few and far between. Most of these people are shrewd, uh, not soulless, but business people that have these kind of credit scores and money. Now you're going to get mom and pa that have 850 credit scores that have all the money in the world, but those people you can just be Colton. You can say I'm new, and they're a little bit easier. You
Yeah, no, they
guys
definitely are.
they're easier. It's the business person that works hard for their money, and those are the people. Pretend like you're in an interview when you're helping these people, and you'll sell more of them. That's exactly what I did, because you never know, they might hire you too, give you a big old executive job.
I've had a couple job offers that I've turned down, but I've had a
Job.
couple.
Okay, so that tells me that um, you're more impressive than their current employees. Think about that. They're dying to get you to where they work because they don't have a Colton. So when you get these job offers, take it as a compliment. I wouldn't necessarily do it unless you saw, a contract or something, because a lot of times the reason why they're out hunting for people is because their business is struggling. Man, I need a guy
Mhm.
like you. Well, to save your business, you know what I mean? I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
see,
no, absolutely.
because I've had that too, and then I realized, yeah, you're struggling. That's why you need me. All right, pay me 25,000 a month. I'll come on board. Oh, I can't pay that much. Well, if you can't pay that much, then you're probably not. You probably don't have the ability to stay in business. I don't know. Okay, so I'm just going to go through the little note. High quality customers require a high quality salesperson. Okay, they have to feel like they're with a competent salesperson. If you want to earn the rich people's business, the business owners, you have to be competent. And that's where those walkarounds really help, because now when you're helping these people, you can tell them all about it, why it's better than the competition, why you should spend your hard earned money here. Because a lot of these business people, these rich people, are penny pinchers when they shouldn't be. But that's how they got rich. They don't share money with anybody. They don't buy anyone dinners. So how the heck do you get their money? You got to be competent and show them why your vehicle is worth buying and how it's going to save them money. Well, what about the Chevy half ton in year 4? Well, the Chevy has a big old 5.3 liter V8. This has the EcoBoost. It gets better fuel economy. And Chevy has the 2.7 liter, the little motor, but it's tiny. You want to buy a half ton with a tiny motor from a Equinox or something? Absolutely not. That's why the EcoBoost is the best motor for the half ton when comparing, is because it gets good fuel economy, but it pushes out massive horsepower. It's the best of both worlds. So I'm saving you money on gas, and I'm getting you more horsepower than the 5.3 liter. Okay, let's go take it for a drive. Competent. Any questions on that subject with the high power buyer?
No, that makes perfect sense. It really does.
Cool. The only reason I ever got really confident was when I got with the Maseratis. Because the most expensive car before the Maserati I sold was at the Ford store I worked at in Bakersfield. It was a $68,000 Lariat F350. The 450s were still in the 60s when I left. They weren't in the 70s yet, or at least I can't remember. And then I come over to the Alfa Maserati when I got that franchise, and the Gran Turismo was $168,000. It can't pull a trailer. You can't put a dead elk in the back. It's just a two-door sports car. It does nothing but please the soul. And now you're trying to sell that. And so when I realized that that type of buyer requires that type of salesperson, then I look back at the Ford store. I'm like, man, I could sell a $68,000 truck like nothing now. I'm over here selling a $168,000 car that does nothing but go fast. It can't go off road. It barely get wet. No one wants to even get them wet. You can't take them in the snow. So just keep working on that and work on yourself to get to that level. All right. Topic 3: flushing out trade numbers and not racing to the bottom number, holding gross. Holding gross, like I've always said in the podcast, I know you heard me say this 10 trillion times now, is it starts at the meet and greet. How do they perceive you? Are they a guy? Are you a guy that can push around? Are you a guy that is not really proven himself, that's built no value? Holding gross starts at the very beginning, right? So when you're holding gross at the desk, you can tell how good of a job you did outside and prior to the desk by how the customer treats you at the desk. It's a clear, before you even bring out numbers, it's a clear distinction when you get to the desk and say, all right, what's your bottom dollar? Before you brought out a pencil, right? Before you brought out any numbers, what's your bottom dollar? If they have that as the first thing when you sat down, then you haven't earned their respect at all. It's a hard truth. They still think of you as just some car salesman they're going to boss around. But if you can earn that respect up front and go toe to toe with them outside, then when they sit down, they'll say softer things like, "All right, what do you think you guys can do on the price?" Instead of "What's your bottom dollar?" It softens up a little bit, and then you can tell them, "Hey, I told you outside, I'll find you every incentive I can get from Ford. Anything I can get from Ford, I'm going to forward to you. We're not a dealership that keeps all these little hidden rebates and all this stuff, right? We're going to give you everything Ford says we should give you." What am I saying there?
Um, you're agreeing, like you're understanding their objection. You're hearing them, and then you're feeding it without saying like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna discount the shit out of it." Like promise you the discounts. You're not promising any kind of discount. You're just like letting them know that hey, there's possibly some incentives, there's possibly some rebates. Like,
Yep.
won't know until we write it up.
Yep. So if you can say it that way, I'm going to give you everything Ford says I should give you. Anything, we're not a dealership that keeps these little rebates and these little incentives. No, we forward everything to you. So when I come out with my first pencil, my first structure, that's going to have everything I can give you. You've never alluded to negotiating or discounts or 5,000 off. All we're saying is I'm going to give you everything Ford says we can give you, which is just the incentives and the rebates, right?
Mhm.
So you come out with that pencil and you have to believe in the pencil 1000%. That is the key to closing deals on the first pencil is if you don't believe in it, the customer will not believe in it. It's the acting. Remember, the highest paid actors are the best actors. It's just, how is that coincidental? It's not. You go out there with your pencil and you believe in it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I was able to get some of these incentives for you. They didn't want to give anything. Actually, I saw the guideline. It said, oh, $200 for the customer. I'm like, no, keep digging. And they were able to find $3,500 for you. Now, with this $3,500, now I can figure out the best payment. Well, that's all you can do? Yeah, that's all I can do. That's it. But here's where I can save you the most money is on interest and payment. Because a lot of customers will sit here and grind me for 45 minutes. They edge another, $500 off, right? And then the bank makes 10,000 on interest. We're fighting the wrong fight. I got
Yeah.
you. I got you everything I could get you. Now let me and my boss go to bat for you with the bank because that's where I can save you thousands. Instead of you beat me up for my last dollar of commission and I make nothing on this deal, how about I beat up the bank that's trying to make 10,000 off you? All right, fair enough. So if you couple what I just told you about coming out with your first pencil and I'm going to get everything I can that Ford says, we're not a dealership that keeps these little rebates and incentives and tries to, make all this money. We're going to give you everything we can give you. If you couple that with the KG close, if you watch that episode, the KG close, and you go from what I just said to the KG close, you will hold gross, not every time, of course, but you will see more full price deals than you've ever seen before. Because after you say, "Hey, I was able to get you $3,500 off," they were trying to give you 1,500, but my manager clicked a bunch of buttons and they actually approved the rebate, so I got you $3,500. Then you flip the page over and you start the KG close, and you never go back to that first pencil. Never go back. You never open that page again. You put it in the file, you get out a clean slate of paper or something, and you go into the KG close. Now, here's what we do with our banks. This is where I'm going to do the real battle because the bank's going to want to charge you X amount of interest. and make $8,000 to $10,000 on this loan. That's where I come in. That's where my boss comes in. So instead of beating me up for another $200 or $300, which I don't even have, let me go to bat for thousands. Okay. And then you go into that KG close where you're talking about, I can go 60 or 72. If your credit's really good, you can go 84. This would be the interest rate. We'll come out here and you can pick A, B, or C. And then you go into that and they totally forget about the pencil. Because now you're talking
I
real
totally,
talk.
I totally forgot about the KG close altogether. I'm gonna rewatch that on my way home.
Yeah, so
Totally forgot about that one.
you do that, then you go to the KG close and you'll be unstoppable. There's a reason
Yeah,
why I use it all the time. One of my I'm going to toot my own horn for about 1 minute. One of my salesmen was talking to me 2 days ago about how I did in sales here at the dealership. Well, now I'm, manager. I have access to all the screens. So I said, instead of me telling you, let me show you. So I went back to the 2 years I was a salesman at this dealership, and I pulled up the highest average commission. I filtered it by highest average commission. I was number one for both years I was in sales for the whole year. I held the most gross per deal, and you can tell by the highest average commission. It was like
Mhm.
780 or 8 something per deal. Every car I sold, I made 780 or 870 or something like that. Every single car, whether it was this or that, it was always almost $1,000. Well, you do that by 140 units, you can start doing some math, right? Um, but it's
Yeah,
because
that's a decent check.
yeah, it's not bad. It's not like I'm breaking, barriers and stuff, but I'll take 150 grand or 140 or 130 in car sales any day. Um, but that's where the KG close was kind of invented, was in those 2 years. I didn't want to work for free anymore. I didn't want to work for minis. I'm almost 40 at the time. I don't want to work for minis anymore. Like, I've earned the gross. And so I started making sure that I got them. All right, moving on. Okay, so we got flushing out trade numbers, not racing to the bottom. So again, for flushing out trade numbers, you can go to in a perfect world. You could also use that.
Mhm.
In a perfect world, whether you buy or not tonight, Mr. Customer, in a perfect world, what would your trade number look like? If you were the used car appraiser, what would it look like? 20? Okay, hey, at least I got the information so I can at least present it, right? Or something. You don't have to go racing back to the desk, but at least now Colton knows, okay, his number's 20. Well, if his number's 20, then his number might be 19. Maybe it's 18.5 and not my 15. Sometimes you got to stretch. If he says it's 25,000 and you're at 15, you might be screwed. But if he says, hey, in a perfect world, it was 17 and you're at 15, man, you're getting close. You're getting real close, right? There's always a way to make a deal. You just have to find the path, just like a maze. There's always an exit to a maze. There's always a path to a deal. I posted a video about customers being like a maze. Well, people that are customers did not like it. You car salespeople just think we're a game and we're a maze, and they totally missed the point of they're finding a path to sell a car. But it is kind of true that customers are mazes. You got to figure out a path to the sale. So
Absolutely.
you can ask those questions about in a perfect world or perfect scenario. Okay, and then here we go. So number 4, how to move to the next customer after exhausting myself on one that didn't buy. Oh
Yeah,
my
I know. Back to
gosh,
the basics, but
bro!
here,
Listen,
I just need to hear it again.
that is a challenge that I have after 24 years. Like, you have a customer that took every ounce of energy out of you. How the heck do you get motivated for the next customer? Sometimes you take it out on the next customer, right? You're short. You don't really want to open the doors. You got to go back and get the key, and you're just like over it.
Yeah.
So this is a tough one because every person's a little different. Every person has a different reset. One of my finance guys at work, he walks around the whole building. He gives himself a minute and walks around the whole building, and it kind of just clears his head.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
he takes a minute, and it's kind of nice. What I do when I get those, and maybe some people don't appreciate this, but I'll call my wife. I'll call her and I need to hear a voice. someone that has, that I can vent a little bit, but that can bring me off the ledge. So for me, walking around the lot probably would help if I did that. But I always like to call like my wife. She's kind of my support system. So I call her just to talk or whatever, and it kind of brings me off the ledge. Um, so everyone's a little different. The key here is what would a professional do, Colton? Tell me what a professional salesperson would do after they just got torched by a salesperson. Let's talk about the perfect salesman.
Back when I was in a different industry, dialing like 300 people a day, and I'd get shit on a lot. I just pick up the phone and keep dialing, but car sales is a lot more personable. So a perfect salesman would just brush it off and move on to the next. No issue at all.
Yep. Yep. Is
Yeah.
your dealership closing?
Um,
They
see
locking
the
you in?
manage. No, there's still a customer here. I'm just gonna go down so he doesn't turn off the lights on me is all.
Gotcha. If you think about the perfect salesman mentally can brush it off and understand that this is going to happen, right?
Mhm.
You're going to have a customer that torches your brain and fries your mentality, and now you don't want to help anybody. It just happens. So knowing that and thinking about, okay, what would the perfect car salesman do? The perfect car salesman can reset the brain, get its composure back, and don't take it out on the next customer. That's the perfect salesman. Now, we're not perfect. So that's where that Christian guy his name's Christian, the finance guy, he walks all the way around the building. I call my wife. You just got to find something that kind of helps your psyche. I have one guy that will just run across the street and get a snack or a drink or an energy drink, just something to like reset. Where now sometimes you'll get done with that customer and your manager's like, hey, there's a customer in the showroom that needs help. And you don't have that time to reset.
Yeah.
So in those scenarios, you have to just be a professional. You just have to dig deep and not take it
Mhm.
on the next customer. Say, hey, welcome into Core 14. My name is Colton Biss. How can I help you? Thank you guys for coming in. And just put on that warm smile again and just do a super mental reset. All right. Let's
I'll
see here.
definitely figure out my reset.
Yeah, maybe walk around the building. Walk around the building or go say, go see another department that has someone that you like there, someone that you can chat with and talk about video games or something, just to do a quick mental reset and then keep going. All right, Colton, you need to go.
Yeah, I gotta get out of here. So I
All right,
appreciate
man.
you taking the time, Kyle. I do not know how you find the time to run a dealership and do these one-on-ones, but it's super appreciated, man.
You
So
know what gives me the strength and the ability to do it is people like you.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate you, Colton. It means so much to me for you to book a one-on-one and spend the time with me too, because there's not enough of us out there that are trying to keep digging deep and finding people like-minded to keep going. So enjoy your evening. Enjoy Thanksgiving. I appreciate the one-on-one, and we'll talk later.
All right. Thank you so much, man. Happy
Thank
holidays.
you. You too, buddy. Bye.
See ya.